Imagine this. You finally leap after years of grinding away at your job. You quit, invest every last dollar into your dream, and launch your startup. But then, nothing happens. No customers, no traction, just silence. Here's the brutal truth. 90% of startups fail. Not because their founders weren't smart, not because they didn't work hard, but because they spent years perfecting a product only to realize that nobody wanted it. Now picture this. You quit your job, burn through your savings, and spend 2 years developing what you believe is the perfect app. Launch day arrives. You hold your breath, but there are no downloads, no buzz, just a painful void of nothingness. Sounds terrifying, right? That happened to countless startups until a new approach changed everything. Take Dropbox, for example. Instead of spending years coding, they did something radical. They released a simple explainer video showcasing their idea. Within days, thousands of people signed up before they even built the product. This is the power of the lean startup method, a smarter and faster way to test ideas, avoid failure, and build something people actually want. And today we're breaking it all down. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to launch your ideas correctly without wasting years of your life or draining your bank account. So stick around because what you are about to learn could save you from a startup disaster. Let's dive in. Think about how most people start a business. They spend months, sometimes years, developing a product. They write detailed business plans, secure funding, and launch with high expectations. But then comes the devastating moment. Nobody wants it. This happens all the time. Entrepreneurs assume they know what customers want, but in reality, they are just guessing. And guessing is expensive. You've spent months, maybe even years, refining your idea. You're confident, excited. Finally, the day arrives. You push the launch button and wait. Hours pass. You check the dashboard. Nothing. No sales, no signups, just silence. What went wrong? Why is nobody buying? It sounds like a nightmare, but it is the reality for most startups. That is where the lean startup method changes everything. Instead of spending years on something that might fail, it teaches you to test your ideas quickly, adapt based on real feedback, and build only what people truly need. Even if you are not a startup founder, these principles apply to side hustles, creative projects, or any new idea you want to bring to life. Think about how much time and money you could save by knowing exactly what works before investing everything. In this video, we will explain the core principles of the lean startup and show you how to apply them to guarantee progress instead of wasted effort. And if you love discovering powerful ideas that transform your thoughts and work, subscribe. We break down the best books weekly to help you stay ahead. Now let's start with the first key concept: why building less often leads to greater success. Chapter 1, the MVP, why building less leads to success. Most people believe that to succeed, you need a perfect product, something fully built, polished, and packed with features before you show it to the world. But here's the truth. Spending years perfecting a product before launch is one of the fastest ways to fail. Let's imagine working for years on an app, adding every possible feature, convinced it will revolutionize the market. Then launch day arrives, and no one downloads it. Painful, right? Successful startups take a completely different approach. Instead of building everything simultaneously, they launch a minimum viable product, or MVP. An MVP is the simplest version of an idea that lets you test whether people want it. Look at Zappos, the billion-dollar online shoe retailer. Its founder, 𝗟𝗄𝗏, didn't invest in warehouses, inventory, or logistics. Instead, he photographed shoes from local stores and listed them on a basic website. Whenever someone placed an order, he would go to the store, buy the shoes at full price, and ship them himself. It was inefficient and unscalable, but that didn't matter. His goal was not to make a profit. He was testing whether people would buy shoes online. When the answer was yes, he scaled the business. The rest is history. This is the power of an MVP. It eliminates guesswork and proves demand before you waste time and money on something nobody wants. So ask yourself this: what is the smallest version of your idea that you can launch today to see if people actually want it? Now that we understand why building less can lead to more success, let's improve that MVP using real customer feedback. Chapter 2. The Build, Measure, Learn Cycle. How to adapt fast. Let's say you have launched your minimum viable product, MVP. Now what? Most people assume the next step is obvious. Keep adding more features, improving the appearance, and improving every detail. But here's the problem. If you are improving the wrong thing, you make a bad product even more expensive. This is where the build, measure, learn cycle comes in. Instead of blindly adding new features, successful startups follow a simple loop. Build something small and testable. Measure how real customers interact with it. Learn what works and what doesn't, then adjust. Let's look at Instagram as an example. You might not know this, but Instagram didn't start as a photo sharing app. It was originally a bourbon app with features like check-ins, messaging, and game-like mechanics. However, when the founders analyzed user behavior, they made a surprising discovery. People were not using the extra features. They were only using one thing, posting and sharing photos. So instead of adding more, they took a counterintuitive approach. They cut everything else and focused only on photo sharing. That one pivot turned Instagram into the massive platform we know today. This is what separates successful businesses from failures. The best entrepreneurs don't just guess what people want. They observe, measure, and adapt. So here's the real question. Are you holding on to extra features, ideas, or assumptions that aren't helping you grow? Now that we understand how to use feedback to build the right thing, let's talk about one of the hardest decisions entrepreneurs face, knowing when to pivot or persevere. Chapter 3. When to pivot or persevere. The toughest decision. Every entrepreneur faces a moment of truth. You have built your MVP, you have tested it with real users. But what happens when the results are disappointing? Do you keep pushing forward, hoping things will improve? Or do you change direction before it is too late? This is called the pivot or persevere moment. Let's take YouTube as an example. Believe it or not, YouTube was not originally designed as a video sharing platform. It started as a video dating site where users could upload clips introducing themselves to potential dates. But there was one massive problem. Nobody wanted to upload dating videos. The founders could have insisted on their original idea, made improvements, and kept trying. Instead, they paid attention to what people were actually doing. Users were not using YouTube for dating. They were uploading random videos on all kinds of topics. So the founders made a bold decision. They pivoted. They transformed YouTube into an open video sharing platform, and that one decision changed everything. So how do you know whether to pivot or persevere? Here's the test. If you have followed the build, measure, learn cycle, and your core idea is still gaining traction, refine and improve it. But if your data shows that people want something different than you expected, it might be time to pivot. The biggest mistake is ignoring reality and proceeding with a failing idea because one is emotionally attached to it. Ask yourself this: are you resisting change because you truly believe in your idea or are afraid to abandon it? Making this decision is never easy, but choosing the right path could mean the difference between failure and massive success. Now let's discuss another common startup mistake: focusing on the wrong numbers. Chapter 4. Innovation Accounting. The right metrics for success. Imagine this. When you launch your product, the numbers start rolling in. Website traffic increases, social media followers grow, and your app receives thousands of downloads. Success, right? Not necessarily. Most startups fail because they track the wrong metrics. These vanity metrics numbers look good on paper but do not mean anything. Likes, page views, and downloads do not matter if users are not engaging, returning, or buying. Let's look at Airbnb as an example. In its early days, Airbnb's founders noticed something strange. While users were signing up, very few were actually booking stays. Instead of celebrating their growing user base, they focused on the real problem. After analyzing different factors, they discovered a key insight. Listings with high-quality photos got significantly more bookings. The problem? Most hosts were uploading low-quality images of their spaces. So what did Airbnb do? They made a bold move. They hired professional photographers to take better pictures for free. The result? A massive increase in bookings and a proven strategy that scaled their business. That is the power of innovation accounting. which tracks the right numbers and uses them to make smarter decisions. So ask yourself, are you measuring success based on numbers that actually drive growth, or are you just chasing likes and views? Now, here is something most people do not realize. The real secret to startup success is not having the best idea. It is something else entirely. And in the next section, we will reveal the one insight that changes everything. So far, we have uncovered the key principles behind the lean startup's approach to launching an MVP, using real-world feedback, knowing when to pivot, and tracking the right metrics. But here's the real secret. Success is not about having the best idea. It is about being the fastest learner. Think about it. Every startup begins with assumptions. You assume people want your product. You assume they will pay for it. You assume you know what features they need. But most of the time, those assumptions are wrong. The companies that survive do not start with the perfect idea. They are the ones that adapt faster than everyone else. Take Amazon, for example. In its early days, it was just an online bookstore. However, Jeff Bezos was not attached to that idea. He paid attention to the data, experimented with new products, and expanded into electronics, cloud computing, and beyond. That ability to test, learn, and adapt made Amazon today's giant. So here's the final challenge. Are you willing to let go of what you think will work and focus on what the market tells you? Now let's discuss the most important takeaways from the lean startup and how to apply them today. We have covered the key lessons from the lean startup, and one thing should be clear by now. Success is not about having the perfect idea. It is about testing, learning, and adapting fast. Let's quickly recap. Number 1, start with a minimum viable product, MVP. Do not spend years perfecting a product before launch. Test the idea with real customers first. Number 2, follow the build, measure, learn cycle. Start small, track real user feedback, and adjust based on what actually works. Number 3, know when to pivot or persevere. If your idea is not gaining traction, do not get emotionally attached. If necessary, adapt, shift, or completely change direction. Number 4, track real success metrics, not vanity numbers. Likes and views do not matter if they do not lead to real engagement and growth. But here is the real takeaway. The best entrepreneurs do not have the best ideas. They learn the fastest. If today's video helped you rethink how to launch and grow a business, then you will love the 𝗖𝗵𝗽𝗁 Revisited by Michael E. Gerber. It takes these ideas even further, showing that most small businesses fail not because of bad products, but because the founder never builds a real system for success. If you are serious about turning your idea into a business that works, this is the next book you must read. Before you go, subscribe. If you found this breakdown useful, subscribe for more powerful book summaries every week. What would it be if you had to launch a startup tomorrow with just $100? Drop your idea in the comments and I'll read and reply. Because at the end of the day, the only way to know if an idea will work is to start.